All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the New England Brewing Company, and they're out of Woodbridge, Connecticut, and this is their Supernaut IPA. So this is an IPA that comes in at 5.8% alcohol by volume, 65 IBUs, and at the time of review, this can is approximately 7 weeks old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Rick, for hooking me up with this beer. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Rick hooked me up with. And I'm just chuckling because he sent me 19 beers, 18 of which were unique, and 6 of those beers were from New England Brewing Company. And yeah, a lot of them I haven't had before, a couple I have, and this is one I have never had before. And I had its older sibling, its bigger sibling, whatever you want to call it, which is, I believe, called Super Supernaut. And the cool thing about both these beers is I believe they're all Mosaic hopped. So yeah, this one sounds pretty good. They have a little spiel here that I'll read. It says, crackling static, hello. More crackling static, Houston. Do you copy? Houston, I repeat, we have the Supernaut. Hints of tropical fruit, berry flavors, rich, full flavor, and a 5.8% IPA. Affirmative, it is delicious. Unfortunately, all samples were consumed and more will be required. Houston, we have a problem. Crackling static. Yeah, okay. I get what they're doing. I totally get what they're doing. Uh-oh, this one's spewing out a little bit. So this has been in my fridge the entire time, but yeah, a little spewage here. So I'm looking forward to this. A sub 6% IPA, all Mosaic hops, and relatively fresh. It's 7 weeks old. So we'll give it a proper pour here. Pour the entire thing in. I think I should be good. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful pour, beautiful looking beer. So this is going to be like, I think, ooh, that's an interesting aroma. So I like the can art. I think it's really cool. We'll put the astronaut over here for you to check out. Just, he says hi. Anyway, that looks beautiful. This reminds me of an old school New England IPA, like from the New England area, Vermont, whatever you want to call it, old school, even from like Massachusetts. It has that bright, vibrant orange color, but it's super murky and turbid. Has just under a 2-finger of an off-white, soap sudsy, but somewhat creamy looking head. Hold up to the light. There's a little bit coming through, so maybe it's not as super murky and turbid as I thought, but it has, yeah, you see the shadow behind it, but you can't make out my actual hand. So that's just a, look, in the Trillium glass, it looks beautiful. Let's get a nose. Oh, so 7 weeks old, this smells super fresh, honestly. So they say berry flavors, right? So a lot of times when people use Mosaic, and I know I'm not alone in this because other folks in the comment section, other beer tubers have said this. Back in the day with Mosaic, I used to get like blueberry, you could say dank blueberry. Over the years, it's kind of evolved into like a mixed berry to me. Sometimes it's raspberry, sometimes a blueberry, sometimes strawberry, sometimes just a field berry. But I still get that dank berry quality. And that's what I'm getting here is dank berries. And it's unmistakable. Yeah, it's dank berries. There's a little bit of pineapple. I'd say overripened mango, creamy mango. And then underlying like citrus tones, like an orange, a grapefruit, generic. There's also a very slight like bready kind of malt, maybe even slight caramel malt. Now, the bigger one, the Super Supernaut I had, I did not review it. It was given to me by another good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Steven. He gave it to me right before I brought back the channel in 2021. I think I brought it back in like early October. He gave it to me at BeerTuber Palooza 2021, which was like in the middle of August. And I didn't drink it, I don't think, until September. But I didn't review it because I wanted to get to it before it got too old. And it reminded me of an old school kind of like just, you know, double IPA. It was, I didn't get berry out of it though. I got pineapple, pine, and it was decently dank and a nice caramel malt kind of flavor. This actually smells better than the Super Supernaut. Now, to be fair, the ABVs are different. I think that Super Supernaut is like 7.5, 8, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not, maybe I'm incorrect. I don't know. I just know this smells like dank berries. There's some citrus, a little bit of stone fruit, a little bit of caramel and breadiness. But for 5.8%, this is super expressive. Like, this is crazy for a sub 6% beer in terms of the aromatic. So let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Thanks again, Rick. Yeah, pretty much exactly what I thought this beer would be. It's really nice. I'm digging this one. So right off the rip, always got to keep it 100 with you guys, honest. The nose was substantially better. They must dry hop this one a decent amount, or maybe even double dry hop it, because the nose was very, again, expressive. It was kind of in your face, bombastic. Shout out to Paul over at PaTroll. The taste, though, it's those flavors, but dialed down a bit. Yeah, dialed down a decent amount, actually, like probably like a good 25%. So we'll go body and mouthfeel. Body for 5.8%. This is like touch under medium, approaching medium. That's good. The mouthfeel is an old school mouthfeel. It's not super soft, smooth, and creamy. It has moderate carbonation. It's smooth on the palate, but it's not like creamy. It's not soft. And again, a beer like this probably shouldn't be. At no point on the can do they say hazy or New England style. This is just like an old school, I'd say, like Vermont style or something in that realm, even though they're from Connecticut. The taste, I'm getting more citrus. So right at the front of the palate, I get that caramel bready malt character, dives right underneath the palate. It's not substantial, but it's noticeable. Then I get citrus and I get pithy orange, pithy grapefruit. As it passes through, a little touch of that stone fruit, I would say mango, maybe a touch of like pineapple hits. And then right after that's where I get the dank berry. So the berry hits midway through the palate, and it's more of like a blueberry kind of, I'd say more mixed berry than blueberry specifically, but you get a little bit like blueberry, raspberry, at least I do. And then that starts to fade and the dankness starts to ramp up a little bit. This has a dank kind of bitter finish. This is moderately bitter with a semi-dry finish. So this isn't too sweet. If you like a little bit of a touch more bitterness in your IPAs that are around 6%, this would be for you. It doesn't have a substantial sweetness. The nose was screaming a little bit more sweetness, but at no point did I ever think this beer was going to be sweet. This is like 60-40 in terms of the bitterness to the sweetness. 5.8%, you can't even tell. This is a really nice low ABV IPA with some really solid flavors. I think Mosaic is doing a beautiful job showcasing that dank berry thing. They also said tropical fruit, which, again, the mango and the pineapple and everything. I'm getting a little bit more citrus. Rich, full flavor. I would say the aromatics were rich and full. The flavor, not as much. But this is pretty damn good. I mean, from what I'm going to tell you momentarily and what Rick told me is that this is kind of like a shelfie that's relatively cheap in his area. So if, again, this is, I'll just say, price point availability. Price point, I believe Rick said these are $10.99 a six-pack. And availability, wherever you see New England Brewing Company, you should see them, throughout the Northeast. We do get this beer here now in the Western New York area, but I've not seen it relatively fresh. But for $11 a six-pack, this is like on the level of like Sierra Nevada or a Bell's or something like that. And I think it's pretty damn good. So Supernaut IPA from New England. I have absolutely no issues giving this a low 4 out of 5. I'll go 3.9. It's not like amazing to me. It's not like over the top. It's nothing I'm going to scream from the rooftops about. But if this was a local beer that I could get relatively fresh all the time, like, yeah, for $10.99 a six-pack, if I was in the mood for some Mosaic goodness and a low ABV IPA, I would grab that. No problems, no questions asked. And I already said the price point availability, so not much more to say. Like I said, it's pretty damn solid, like a shelfie IPA in the northeastern part of the U.S. Not much more to say about that. So huge thanks to Rick for this one. I got a couple other New England beers coming down the pipeline from Rick. I have some New Park beers and some Fox Farm beers. He hooked it up beyond belief. I started with this one of the older ones. I think the oldest one was their G-Bot. I'm going to try to do a side-by-side. He sent me like a 2-month-old can and a 4-month-old can. I want to see what the difference is between the two cans. So I'm going to do a side-by-side probably in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, anyway, huge thanks to Rick. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. If you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. Until the next one, cheers.